Hello, friends, to the Spring 2023 LCS Challengers Promotion Tournament. Exciting stuff ahead of us as teams are going to be battling out to figure who's going to be in our summer split of NACL. I'm Sierra Dawn, joined here by our first all-Canadian desk. We have Ravishing Ravish, we have Beatdown Boulevard, as well. These are the first two people that I ever worked with on a league broadcast, so this is a pretty cool one.
The lore.
Ravish, it's the lore. It's the lore. Ravish, you were going through our qualifier broadcast, but you're here with us at the big stage. How are you doing today, friend?
I'm doing fantastic here. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited to, show off some OQ teams, this talent we got going on all throughout semi-pro. It is going to be an absolutely fantabulous time.
It sure will be. But before we get into that absolutely fantabulous time, gotta figure out how that time is going to be going down. So we do have a little format explainer video to get everybody on the same page. Welcome to the Spring 2023 LCS Challengers League Promotion Tournament. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Smax. And we're here to talk you through everything you need to know.
The promotion tournament will feature 8 teams from the North American developmental landscape, the 4 lowest placing NACL provisional teams from Spring, and the 4 teams who earned the most qualification points across the 2 NACL Spring Open qualifiers. These 8 teams will be placed into a modified double elimination bracket. Our first round will have a provisional team matched up against a qualifier team in a best of 3.
Seeding for the 4 provisional teams was based off performance in the NACL playoffs, while the qualifier teams were ranked by total points earned across both open qualifiers. The winners of the first round will play each other in the upper bracket best of 5, with those winners becoming the first 2 teams welcomed into the summer NACL season. The losers of round 1 will be sent down to the lower bracket, where they will play a do or a die best of 3 against another round 1 loser. The winners of this best of 3 will move on to our lower bracket best of 5, where they will face off against the loser of an upper bracket best of 5 to qualify for summer NACL. Those eliminated will have the chance to re-enter the open qualifiers next split to earn the chance to challenge the promotion tournament once again.
So, best of luck to the teams competing, and we'll see you there. Definitely some really exciting stuff ahead of us with a couple of teams that we haven't necessarily gotten to see too much of. Of course, these teams did have to battle it out to make their way through to our promotion regulation tournament. But Ravish, tell us a little bit more about who we're going to be seeing here and a little bit about the struggles to get to this point.
So we've got a lot of teams coming in today, right? Specifically right around 6 or so that are, gonna try to make sure that they can show their stuff. Well, actually, no, maybe around 4 in total, just to try to get in. Yeah. 6 tried, and eventually just 2 didn't end up making the cutoff, as things do end up happening. But there was through an entire point system that was done all throughout OQ 1 and 2 to get to this point. And these right here are the points tallied up with the top 4 teams, and we'll be seeing 2 of them today.
Kind of incredible, like looking at what Maryville was able to do here. This is a total 250 points, by the way, and they earned all but 10 of them. I believe they only lost 2 games, and it was in one of the OQs, and they just won both tournaments in the end. It's some dominating stuff.
It's ridiculous, by the way, because they only dropped 2 games throughout so many games that they played the entire time. Several, indeed. Yeah. Ridiculous. So they're coming in and looking real hot, but the rest of the teams also look good too, so we can't count them out just yet.
As well, loving some of the names. I mean, we've heard the name Team Fish Taco before. That one's been around, but Team Tony Top, great stuff, great stuff. Definitely do appreciate that. And I'm excited to see what our qualified teams are going to be able to show us, what skills they're going to be having out on the Rift. And I mean, if they have what it takes to enter our NACL Shack.
Welcome to the NACL Shack. How tough are you?
I'm ready for everyone. I'm not scared.
Who am I better than in the tournament? I mean, probably everybody.
I'd like to think that we're just better than all of them.
My mindset is that I'm better than everybody. I don't think there's anyone who's better than me in the laning phase.
I'm better than more than half of the ADs in the tournament.
Oh, I'm definitely better than Skystreams. I'm probably better than everyone in the tournament.
I think I'm better than everybody else, and I don't really recognize the names too much.
Scale 1 to 10, I think pretty much 100% chance we make it to the NACL.
I'll give us probably like an 8 or a 9. I think that we have a pretty good path. I think we're going to upset some teams coming into the tournament.
Personally, I'm pretty confident. I think I'd give us about a 7 out of 10.
I want to beat MU. Really, honestly, bad. I mean, I really got a bone to pick with them.
I expect us to dominate our first matchup, and then it'll be good taking on MU at the collegiate powerhouse.
Yeah, I just kind of look forward to relegating some people. There's some sick satisfaction in it.
Personally, no bad blood. I would kind of just want to relegate all the other NACL teams.
There's only one player that sticks out among the rest, and that's Tony Top.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's tough. Right this way.
There is a lot of confidence out there amongst our players. That's all I'm saying. The talking about gonna go out there and relegate some teams. There's some satisfaction in that. I mean, beat down. That's kind of tough.
I think so. I mean, especially you saw the way they were yelling. The mics were peaking. I mean, for one, I'm a little shook. I understand why Eric had to let them in. So it is what it is.
Eric would have gotten his behind beat out
got the
there.
work.
Definitely. But even if the players are confident about their chances to go out there and relegate some team, be able to move on into our summer NACL, what about our confidence levels of these teams going out there? That's what I'm kind of intrigued about. The chances of these teams making their way on through Ravish.
I may have misunderstood the assignment. I thought we were ranking them on what place they're going to be, not how confident I was out of 10. So I just put a number. I'm definitely, my ratings are going to be.
No, Ravish hates AOE. It is what it is,
Not true.
He put the number out there. It's in the graph. He's lower than everyone else. Do I need to say more?
Oh, man.
The quick panic as he's seeing his numbers lower than everyone. He's like, how can I quickly spin this?
I need to spin. Yeah, exactly. I need to cope right now.
I'm huffing it all here, homies.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm right here. Let's go.
All right, you're tied with Mazel for the highest here, and I mean Supernova. It's gonna be tough. I mean, they lost Hyper throughout this towards the end of the split. He jumped over to a Fly Fam and was a big part of why they started to turn things around towards the NACL. And they do have Kizno, who's very promising, but he's very new. And there's a lot of there's a lot of growing pains that they have to be going through here. So that's why I'm sorry, guys. It's not looking good.
Yeah, but Dragoon Smash, so that's kind of the end all be all there personally, but that's my opinion though.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Y'all think pretty good highly of these things. I have to say though, y'all are incorrect going on with this because you see, every team has a 50-50% chance to be making their way up. They either do or they don't beat down. There's the two choices. They do or they don't. So regardless, I feel like I'm gonna be the most correct out of anyone on this.
I know, and it's funny you mentioned that too. Like, Dara, why are you on this list? Everyone gave numbers to, I think it was Kangas who put this together. I don't see you here.
My answer's too based. It's 50-50.
That's the answer?
Yeah, that's it.
It's just they either do or they don't. I was expecting something like, I want everyone to have fun. That's my take, which would have been respectable also.
I'm just really hoping that we get to go out there and see some great league. Though Maryville University, I feel like this is the one where it's like the credit card on the table, like, this is the team that there's some prestige here. So Ravish, Maryville's normally
I want to say once again, I did not understand the assignment. I'm very confident Maryville making it out.
This is a great desk for day one, guys. This is fantastic.
Wow, wait. How?
I meant out of top 5, like Maryville's like number 2. Like,
look, man,
they're making it for sure.
All I'm gonna say, it's a good thing you don't need to be able to read the cast.
Yes.
I think it helps, though, honestly.
It only helps, but it's not.
God.
This is compulsory, Well,
Ravish, you'll have some time to make that up a little bit later, but we need to get on focus a little bit with our tournament and the run they're going to be making their way through. This is the bracket that we're going to be looking at with our provisional teams that are facing this relegation and the teams, the hopefuls that are looking to take their spot, battling their way out. This is going to be really fun going on forward beatdown, especially to kind of see where everyone's stacking up against each other.
Right, and you have to basically win 2 series to be able to promote to the Summer Challengers League in a couple of months' time. So that's what these teams are playing for. You either lose 2 and you're out, or you win 2 and you make it to 2023 Summer Challengers League. And that's kind of what these teams are really going for here. We have our expectations like we saw on the graph, and these are going to be like the first matchups that we're seeing.
Are you saying they either win and they're in, or they lose or they're out, so it's a 50-50?
No, I didn't say that. No. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never.
Hey, yeah, all right. The first one that we're going to be keeping an eye on going on for today, that is going to be Supernova going up against AOE. Then later on, Last Dance going up against Maryville University, a chance for Ravish to redeem himself a little bit with the ratings going on. But talking a little bit more about this Supernova squad, this is one Ravish, just from my understanding, just managed to make it in.
Yes, that is indeed correct. Because if you look in terms of the seeding, this is the highest seed versus the lowest seed in going into the promotion relegation tournament, right? Supernova just kind of squeezed in, barely, by Maryville beating Native, and so that's the main reason why this ended up happening. And the squad on its own, a lot of prestige on their side. You know, some of their players are in fact brand new and have only been, you know, competing for the past 4 months, specifically that being Kizno. But otherwise, you know, you do have Dragoon, Azog, Chookies, Onat, who have a wealth of experience.
And then looking forward at this squad, when we're looking at these teams that are competing in our promotion tournament to be trying to be taking these spots, quite interesting with where this matches up. Specifically looking forward into today's matchup beatdown, looking at this mid lane and this jungle duo coming out from both squads, and what Kizno and Onat in this case can be into the squad to try and be taking what could be a very difficult win ahead of us.
Definitely. AOE is a team who we always thought would be a tough opponent, even if they made it to this tournament from last split. And Supernova definitely have their work cut out for him. They managed to cinch out their spot here in the promotion tournament, and even after losing their jungler in Hyper and subbing in, who honestly, a brand new player. I talked to the coach a little bit, Doruk, about him and what the experience has been like, and there is that learning curve. But from what I've seen so far, he does seem like a promising player. More than anything else, in time, will actually be someone to watch out for.
That's the biggest point there too, because the rest of the team has been, you know, like trying to help him gain more sense of his macro, where he should be on the overall map and stuff. And you're seeing that, you know, with how the team is like allowing him to join up in comms as well. Like even to this play right here as well, there's a lot I find like work to be done throughout the entire split, but in general, the way he's been supplementing for the team and like how he's been more selfless as a player is awesome. But going up against AOE, it's going to be even tougher.
Yeah, AOE Gold, this was the last team to be finding themselves in the position with the promotion tournament up ahead of them. So coming in as the top seed, the top dogs, definitely going to be one of the teams to be taking down. They are going to be bringing in a roster change into this, but again, want to be focusing up with this jungle and mid duo and Dark Wings, because that's going to be more so the focus for each of these two teams and where they could be finding win conditions today.
Scrappy will be the name of the game for both these sides here, especially for Winnie and for Dark Wings, right? We know they both have the specialty. Winston, or Winnie I should say, has been the shot caller for this team for as long as I can remember. Him also having collegiate experience alongside Dark Wings as well. So, and they both come together to form this really solid squad alongside Lynx and SkyTech, who've taken their macro game to another level as they've evolved throughout the entire split.
Yeah, and this is a team to beat down. I mean, they definitely fought their time during Challengers, but finding them here, where are you looking at in specific to this squad?
If we're talking about this tournament overall, I had them as 10, as in the highest that I rated any of the teams in this tournament to be able to get it out, just because this is a team that, even though they had their struggles in Challengers League Spring, this is still a very competent team with all 5 of these players having their strengths, and they're always willing to look for these fights. And that's why they managed to, even for better or worse, take teams against some of the best teams we had in Challengers League. So against the competition here, I'm still confident in AOE's ability to be able to perform.
And I feel like, too, this is one that AOE's thinking about as well in terms of their ability to be performing going on forward. When he even tweeted about it, talking about the run that they were able to do with playoffs. Super close game, regardless results, still proud of the boys and improvement. Will show up stronger next split following the promotional tournament. Everything between the lines there. They're going to be finding their way out of this promotion tournament and expecting to see them again going on into summer.
That's the thing about it as well, is that Winston, talking to him too, didn't expect to be here. He fully admitted, saying, you know, like how later towards the end of the split, things, you know, the boys definitely did a bit more wiling up, but going into it, they feel very, very confident that they'll make it out towards the other end, you know, positive and doing okay towards summer.
Yeah, going forward into this, though, we touched on it a little bit when we were keeping that roster, but there is going to be a change beatdown going on forward, specifically when you're looking at the top lane for AOE Gold. Gamsu is out and Quacker coming in.
Right, so that last second change, removing Gamsu, is definitely an interesting one. He was a big part of their success, but Quacker coming in is also an exciting one. He is a player who we watched in semi-pro a couple of years ago, had a great year, in my opinion, in 2021 when he was playing for the team known as Wildcard Black, when Wildcard ran 2 rosters, had some amazing performances, was a player who we believed showed some of the best improvement, and was one of the better top laners in that semi-pro system, of course. But after that year, spent more time in collegiate, not as focused here into the path to LCS as we call it, but now he's back and subbing in, and it's an exciting thing to see.
Especially up against his lane opponent Dragoon, who's, you know, been competing for longer than he has across the board, and those two together have matched up a couple of times during the Wildcard Black time, and Dragoon has actually gotten just the better of him more often than not. So going into today, that's going to be another spot to watch out for both these teams.
Love the fact that there's that little bit of history there beat down between these two top lanes. There's a couple of different facets to be looking out for going on ahead.
For sure, and it's interesting too, because even though you're right, Ravish, Dragoon got the better of him towards when they actually played, towards the end of that year, I honestly was a little higher on Quacker, because this is a player who especially started off as a Darius one trick, like literally, that was his one thing. And then he really grew and developed as a player, not just his champion pool, but his game. And towards the end of the year was part of the Wildcard Black that actually managed to take a game off their sister team in Wildcard Red. And this is the Wildcard Red, for those who don't know, who had Bradley from TLC when he was still a mid laner and an incredibly promising talent. And of course, Arrow, who is also on TLC in the bottom lane. That was one of the most dominant teams semi-pro has seen. And they managed to take them to a very close series. And thanks in no small part to Quacker and how he played.
Exactly that. And I think going into today as well, both these players have developed a ton, right? You know, Dragoon has continued to compete throughout, and he's also expanded a lot of his champ pool from the, you know, from the whole Darius narrative that you were saying to not playing a ton more tanks. Quacker as well too, stepping more so into the K role as well. And the meta in general has shifted to such a point that I think that both of them become such cruxes for the team. And will Quacker subbing in, you know, will he be slot into Gamsu's shoes and become the pillar for the AOE side that they do so need?
Make sure anyone watching as well to be spamming in chat who you think is going to be coming out on top in this series. A lot of Supernova fans out in the chat. This is a pretty lopsided vote so far. So if you are an AOE Gold fan, make sure to get your vote in so this could look a little bit more even going on ahead, because we want to make sure that we have this close game and at least get off to a good start for both of these teams. But our draft is about to get underway, so I'm going to toss this over to you two to take it away.
Ooh, all right. Midtown Boulevard, let's hop right into it, man. It's been a little bit since we got to do a little draft together. Let's talk about this.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute, man. Long time. So I'm excited about it. We're about both out here flexing our green. Let's see what AOE Supernova has to bring out. Ari right away taken off the board, and I imagine we'll see more comfort picks taken off as well.
Makes a lot of sense. I remember pretty recently, Onat actually had a pretty monster game on the Ahri. I believe he finished 11-0 or something ridiculous like that. And we talked about the mid jungle being super important. Ahri is that kind of champion, really strong right now, good at skirmishing, and that's what we're looking at when we look through both of these teams. Onat, Kizno, Darkwings, Winnie, based on how both these teams play, these two duos for their respective teams are going to be a big part of how they want to play the game, how they want to look for fights early, middle, and late.
Mid jungle, once again, we'll hammer that in, so pay attention to how that draft does shape out. Already Elise and Rakan taken away, with the Kindred the ban from AOE, and alongside that Caitlyn, some of the power pick taken off, so just strong picks in general. It'll limit the option for Supernova, because the bot lane we haven't touched on a ton, but in general they do stay pretty solid for both of these sides. Azog and Chucky's a lot of experience playing together, and we'll see what the final ban is for Supernova.
Yeah, it makes sense that you want to respect that bottom lane. Even though I favor Lynx and Skytech, Azog and Chookies throughout the qualifiers have been pretty solid in the 2v2, and from what I've seen have managed to gain some pretty good advantages, just naturally, based off their laning. So, something you want to make sure you can kind of avoid coming through here, and that's why you see the Caitlyn ban leading into that potential Varus coming through here for Lynx. I mean, it's one of the strongest ADs on the patch. Very much first pickable. AOE agree.
Varus, very, very good. I was watching Guma UC play him not too long ago. Gen GT1 was a banger matchup, and Guma always shows up, but we'll see if Lynx have this Guma type of performance, as on the other end, the flex pick of the Gragas is taken. Supernova have prioritizes very heavily throughout the entire split.
Yeah, really strong pick there. Could go for a lot of different people, really. And we'll see what else they're going to be going for here. That is a really fun hover, but I don't believe it. So we're just going to talk about what else we could maybe be seeing here. I mean, again, Kizno plays things like the Viego, the Sejuani, a lot of these other junglers that could be up and available. You don't want to give away where the Gragas is going just yet. So picking your AD carry, maybe something for the support if there's something strong you want, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was gonna think even the support might have came in as well, but instead it is gonna be the Jhin. I haven't seen this a ton from Azog either, picking up the more util role. I know he likes to be very scrappy down the bot lane, so thinking maybe a poke bot lane to come in as the draft does shape out. For now, we'll see what the response is from the AOE side instead. As you see the Jhin lock in, Varus is already there. I'm expecting support and maybe a jungle pick as well, and not locked in just yet, but the return of Heimer is afoot.
Man, this is tough, because that's already a really annoying lane to deal with there. Double range, so much poke, those Heimer turrets are ridiculous, and I think that's what you're expecting from that's what Supernova is expecting. You pick the Jhin because you want that more utility focused, neutralizing bot lane, and it's looking like that pick couldn't have come fast enough considering what's being handed out here by AOE.
Speaking of things being handed out, it's just the all-out of the Cassante will also be on their side as he looks to hand out smacks. I don't know, bro. It's fine.
There you go. No, you had it. You lost me, and then you got me at the end there. It's okay.
You again? It's my
yeah, kind of, because you backed out.
I'm just gonna be tug of war between the entire time. But that's a response into it. Dragoon was talking about the flex picks coming into today. We were saying that they're gonna battle things out, and Dragoon wants that lane dominance against the bruiser of Cassante.
Yeah, so now we know Dragoon's not going to be the one piloting the Gragas, and that's the thing. You want to pick Cassante early sometimes, because it's honestly a pretty strong blind, but it has a couple very difficult matchups. I fear Olaf is one of them, as Olaf doesn't have too many bad ones, but this is a particularly good one for him. So already that power point in the top side for Dragoon. We talk about that player, how experienced he is, how historical this matchup kind of is here. So Quacker, his first time back at around this level of play, has to play a pretty tough matchup against someone he's played before.
Right, and we were talking about before how he has to see how he fills the shoes for Gamsu, who was a anchor for the team of AOE, as well as both these teams will continue to develop. Because Dragoon himself was very, very confident coming into today, very confident in his lane matchup, and as the rest of the bands do shape out, though, we'll see what else they bring. Ashe taken away alongside the Jarvan and Karthus, so a lot of options for Winnie, just completely taken off the board.
Yeah, I like the targeting there for Winnie. I mean, we know he's that jungler who goes for that facilitator role, really good at finding angles. This team really lives or dies by this player, so that's what we're kind of looking to see. What's he going to play here, especially with that Lux being locked in there, almost certainly going into the bottom lane, but everything's still a little up in the air right now. Supernova saving that R5 to really put the icing on the cake here for this draft and let us know what it's really in it.
Well, let's hope that Azog is not, well, sorry, AOE is not lactose intolerant, just so they can probably try to enjoy the icing that's there, because lactose-free icing is really bad. Either way, we'll see with the Graves not locked in as well. Winnie with one of the lower end options. Well, I haven't seen a ton of Graves, I find, but farming in general, shot caller abroad, and another carry pick that we were picking up for him. Love that. And for SkyTech, let's see what we got. We got everything here. What's gonna be the mid to potentially go into the Lux? I'll wait and see. Ari's already gone. I wonder.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of mages still up and available here. Something that's going to get pushed, you are going blind because you're not 100% where everything is going, and the Cassiopeia is actually an interesting one. I mean, with a lot of matchups that ONAC could be going for, I mean, the Victor is something to consider, but you're not really going to get that early push necessarily. But you look at the rest of this comp, you do kind of play all right into Cassiopeia's range, and this is kind of that classic pick for Darkwings. When he played for Dig at what it was called Academy in end of 2022 spring, I believe, he had some pretty good performances on this champion, a legendary base defense that I know we like to talk about. So maybe he'll do it again.
Incredible. I was watching that out just yesterday as well too, and I remember Rock was casting that. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was watching some of the clips, seeing how we can best bring out the profile of these players, and remember Rafa and Josh were freaking out about that, and rightfully so. And I'm happy to see this because they've been putting Darkwings on the Oriental for the past, I think, 5 or 6 games. So finally some sort of variation, which I'm a big fan of. When he did promise me that we weren't going to see Darkwings on the Oriental just yet, so I'm happy to see the flexibility. Of course, that final pick with the Victor being, pretty all-rounded, well put together compositions. Talk to me about Beatdown, about, which one you're probably leaning towards and how you find these two will interact.
So it's interesting because AOE, I look at the lane interactions, and only thing I'm really looking for on their side is they have a good bot lane with, it's going to be a lot of poke, a lot of pushing power, and it means that we could see Winnie go for these opportunities, go for these invades, stack dragons, and everything like that. But on the other end, Supernova, you have this really strong top side that you're playing for in Dragoon with the Olaf. I like the Rift Herald setup here for Supernova, and it's going to be a good way for them to be able to snowball. You're just hoping your bot lane manages to hold it down, because this is an interesting pairing you don't see very often. So you do have that double range technically here for Azog and Chookies, but the Jhin not as lane dominant as something like Avaris. So you're just looking to kind of hold it down, not lose too much here, and limit that snowball AoE's looking for on the spot side. Okay.
Azog stings. Hey, this is a bit different than what we're expecting usually. I wonder if they try to just sneak into the lane. Yep. The
it's
ward
for the turrets.
is there,
it's for the Heimer turrets.
Yeah. Making sure they don't get spidered out. Yeah, they'll get early lane control, should be fine. But yeah, top side of the map, tough for control for Supernova, bottom side more so for AoE. As you look to pay attention to that, as of right now, junglers starting out on opposite ends of the map, so kind of once again leaning towards the theory that you are saying. We'll see if Kisno decides to pay an early visit towards the bot side, as we were expecting Azog and Chookies to get pushed in. For now, though, normal lane assignments, no more funky stuff going on, as we all just get to vibe for a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see that there's actually an extremely deep ward on Supernova's side of the map. So they have that information on Kisno, an idea of where he is looking to go. And I mean, we see bot lane too. Azog and Chookies trying to trade very aggressively here, trying to fight for that level 2. They have the Lux. You do have a lot of early game poke, damage. That's what they're looking to play for here. But that prio comes through, and this is what I was talking about. Winnie is going to be able to avoid that ward, going to be able to go for the invade, and because they know that Kisno's on the top side, they don't know this is happening. Kisno's going to walk down to potentially 2 camps lost on the bottom side.
And this, once again, it brings in, and we talked a lot about Winnie's experience, playing throughout collegiate as well, and of course through semi-pro for many years too. This guy is the shot caller for the team, the biggest voice of the team, and has led AOE to many of their wins, even Western University back when he's playing on there too, throughout in all these CLL tournaments. He has such a sense for the game.
And you'll hear it from him straight up. He's led them to some losses. Winnie is very humble, and honestly takes a lot of responsibility for the struggles that AOE have gone through. And he's a player, of course, who leads the team so much, and he's not afraid to be aggressive. And look at what we're seeing here. And Winnie, I don't think he got the camp, but he's in trouble.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah. Whoa!
Early rotation from ONAT will mean that he gets taken off his first blood.
Huh. That's I really thought he was going to flash, and he had a really good shot of getting out of that one, but this is kind of what we were talking about here. Winnie, not afraid to be aggressive, not afraid to go for what he feels like is a good fight. But that one wasn't a good fight, and he's actually going to lose his Raptors on top of it as well.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good lead for Supernova.
Oh, not bad at all, and this is what we want more of, right? Both. Oh man, he just got back, bro.
Oh, Kizno. Kizno.
Ah,
Kizno
is around. Kizno. Bye-bye.
Oh, he's just dead, yeah.
Yeah, well, but SkyTech takes... Guys, you had 4 people there. I feel like you could like vary up the options, but it's hard.
Yeah, no, definitely. It doesn't feel as bad, but ultimately Kizno does end up falling. And you can see on this bottom side now, again, because of this pressure, because of these invades Winnie's going for, AOE have a lot of control over this bottom side. Oh, Quacker?
Wait! The shield pops the last second! He was low enough. Quacker thought he might have been able to take it, but the grass part doesn't go off, and he went... Dragon with a solo bolo, baby!
Olaf's health is never as low as you think it is, and Quacker falls prey, unfortunately. This is part of what makes it that tough matchup. Dragoon, Olaf can auto you down as the Cassante, run you down, and the sustain is just too much for most laners to deal with. And this is important because Dragoon needs this kind of lead coming through here, really needs to take advantage of this topside matchup, not just in Herald priority, but being able to get that gold coming through here. And props to Quacker, that is a good way to overcome this matchup, using the Pathmaker to knock them into the turret, but it's still really hard if you're not careful.
Yep, W procs and no more cooldowns left for Quacker. Unfortunato, but he's a Cassante, so he'll be fine as he builds up to more of his tank bruiser role throughout the entire game. But once again, for Dragoon, he needs these early leads, right? You need to make sure he's prioritizing more because he is on a timer naturally. And the longer things go on, I know AOE will be very happy with that, with the scaling options that they do currently present. Nonetheless, for now, after all the early hubbub and action, Dragon is out for the taking, and Winnie is around.
And I will say, I like the build Dragoon's going for as well. You see the Iron Spike Whip, a lot of Olaf's Rush Ravenous, but he's into a comp where there's a lot of damage coming through here. If you look at Winnie, Darkwings, and Lynx, so he's prioritizing that more bruiser build so that he can soak up damage, run people down. And it's a really good thing to see. And AOE, of course, using this Dragon Prio.
Speaking of which, Prio used Dragon, kind of was in their hands, but Supernova early on, they even popped the ultimate as well from Onat to zone them away. Winnie and SkyTech are still around, but Onat doing a really good job of zoning them, even with the
yeah.
Well. Oh,
goodbye, Quacker.
Level 6 doesn't get the reset, but will commit the flash for the solo and the Dragon.
Yep, so that's actually great for Supernova, winning on both sides of the map here. Top you expect, but losing the Dragon is unexpected on AOE's side. So Supernova really making good use of the fact that Onat hit level 6 before Darkwings, using that bit of damage from the ult, using the zoning to just help guarantee the secure. So everything is coming up Supernova so far in this early game.
And I want to go back to a point that we were harkening on before as well. For both Supernova and AOE, they wanted this to be much more of a scrappy, higher pace game. Because Supernova also recognized, specifically on Dragoon's side, they knew that they might end up getting out macro if the game does end up going long, because it's just kind of just the practice they've had at times, and because they did recognize that AOE has had a chance to practice all through NACL with just these higher echelon of teams, so they want to make sure that they can snowball their leads as much as possible, and throughout they've been doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, the coach of Supernova even told me some of the things they've been working through this split is that discipline to be able to set up properly for some of the fights that they're going for. I know it's early, and it's only a small skirmish that we're seeing, but already the improvements from how they have been playing during the qualifiers.
Yep. Right, especially with the change-ups coming in as well too on both sides. Oh, Onat almost gone. Poison taken away. Just barely gets out with the Aerie Shield. Darkwing's getting the better of the matchup so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're at that point too. Tier is up. You get some mana going through here. Cassiopeia able to kind of run you down in the lane, but props to Onat for keeping his flash. He's going to be able to TP back, and he spent that gold. I like the tier 2 boots, actually. Getting that movement speed super important. Quacker, oh no.
This is not going to happen. He just pops the ghost. He walks back into lane.
Hey, well, oh wait, no, that was good. That was good from Quacker. You run away there because Olaf, since they changed his ultimate, he needs to keep autoing to keep it going. And once it's gone, Quacker feels a little better about walking up to push that lane in. But now here, what we're talking about before is going to come to fruition. Quacker wants that honey fruit, but he's in a tough spot to contest this Herald. AoE's chances were never that good. And now, oh no, if Quacker dies, they get worse.
Yeah, stun still lands. Like, Quacker wanted to probably use the ultimate to try to maybe hop over the wall with Kizno, but instead, the rotation around and back again to the Rift Hill parry that you were talking about, but or towards the bot lane. Skytech, one more shot should be it. Still in range.
Wow!
Couldn't walk out in time, and the slow works out. Azog with a beautiful setup.
And it's really nice. You see Azog and Chuki's really taking advantage of this unique bot pairing that we don't really see a lot of in the NACL. The Jhin Lux, to be able to get that poke, be able to just throw out damage from some of your spells, to be able to contest, and in this case, manage to pick up some kills. This is what we've seen from them. Looking throughout the more recent performances in the qualifiers, they naturally get these leads. They naturally overcome some of these bot laners in the qualifiers. And it's starting to show up here against Lynx and Skytech, who we think pretty highly of.
Yeah, backing into the mid lane though. Clutch gravity field on Dark Wings to make sure he doesn't get run down once more, and Kizno there right on time just to make sure that Winnie cannot take advantage of Onat. But luckily Flash is still up though, so can't punish completely as you take a look at the bot lane. Yep.
Yeah. And again, it's another good use of taking advantage of an experienced lead. Like we saw mid lane, now it is Azog who hits level 6 first and is able to, with some great patience, get a kill with the curtain call here. It's 5-1 right now for Supernova. Though the lead is only is just under 1,000 gold, they are still getting more than we expected them to in this early game, and even still winning out where we expected them to, especially in the top lane for Dragoon.
Yeah. Dragoon though is just now big chilling up there too, but I want to see how he can now look to use that lead to translate more of that towards the other end of the map, which was, you know, the goal of the entire team. Because as of right now, the longer he just stays locked in lane, I find that you might not be able to translate everything there. But nonetheless, still though, expending resources and getting much more powered up. Speaking of which, Winnie, decent, you know, has hit half item, gets spotted on the ward, cannot go for the gank.
Right, not much available. You don't have a lot of CC, so diving is going to be really difficult as well. One of the downsides of that Graves pick that Winnie is on here. So you haven't seen many gank options, but for the most part, Winnie's been out farming Kizno, which is what you're hoping for. And Kizno still has this Rift Herald to play for. He's on this Gragas. He's able to facilitate. You see him going for this invade here, and the question is going to be, where is this Herald dropping? You could drop it mid, get yourself prio over that dragon, or you could even set up for that bottom dive, because you have much better setup for it.
Yeah, because they know the TP's down from Quacker, and Dragoon will likely just keep him locked up there, so
yeah,
we'll just end up being a 4v4. And we did see Kizno at least going around and setting up a vision ward early on, so knows that should be fine to set up around Drag, which they're doing exactly right now. Chuckies and A's are looking to get the push in as they get spotted on the ward in terms of Kizno. And so they'll maintain even lane states, but I think he might just try to go for the dragon solo. No, he's not.
It'd be a little tough for him. Oh, wait!
Bada bing, bada boom. That's one once again. Skytech on the big smart man. Did not see that one coming. And no binding lands. Link survives, but with half of his health.
And Azog and Chukies are just running this bottom lane here, getting this dragon prio. Of course, Onat may need to, or Kizno, excuse me, will need to back up because Onat's been pushed in, but you have the bot lane advantage here, so it's going to be tough. We might have a 50-50 on our hands, especially with Onat coming through here. I'm actually liking Supernova's chances.
Onat does have the ultimate as well, and so does Dark Wings. Gravity Field should be up by now as well. As they put out the chains, a lot of damage. Kizno blown up. As finally a fight comes in, nice ultimate from Dark Wings. Locks down 3, chases down Onat. As the rest of the team all converges in, as Supernova's gotta get out of there.
And this is the AOE gold that we know and love. A team that, even when they're behind, are not afraid to look for fights that they might like. And this is the example of that. Even if it doesn't work out here, they managed to find a big win in this fight specifically. Really nice use of the chain of corruptions. They had vision, Lynx knew where to aim, and as soon as that happened, AOE knew it was go time. So now they've gotten some gold back into their pockets. They've gotten a dragon, so they can go back to stacking, and they have gotten control back of this game.
No matter how far down they were, it's just an immediate flip back in, and what we were expecting out of this AOE squad, right? We were praising just the early leads of Supernova, what they've managed to do. And now, they've got to look to reset once again, probably index a lot more onto the Dragoon side, and getting him out of this lane will be the way to do it, as he is currently standing likely the strongest member on the team as soon as he looks to back and get all this gold for himself. This Olaf can run down any member, but he has to get out of the lane first. For now, though, top turret almost broken, almost first brick for themselves. Once again, go back up towards the bottom side. Kizno just roaming around, keeping Chickies and Azog safe.
Right, they're just trying to do their best, clear out some vision, give some breathing room over to Onat, but whoa.
Oh, puts up the barrel too, but
wow,
caught a little bit too deep in enemy territory. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Kizno couldn't flash. The miasma was there from Darkwing, so now they have this opportunity again. Invade starts to just lay down more vision, take camps away. Winnie has nothing to be afraid of with that Black Cleaver rush. He's got a nice bit of health into his pocket here. And, Skytech, though.
Yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate. Winnie just comes in to tank all the shots, and because Chucky couldn't actually nail that binding either, he'll walk out scar-free as Chucky's and Azog have to give up bot lane prior for the first time in quite some time, in fact. And they'll just be, relegated to watching the tower fall. Speaking of which, first brick for Supernova for the top side as we were expecting.
Even with AOE, making those aggressive calls and making the comeback, hold on.
He's fine.
He's fine. Unironically, I mean, this is like level 11 cast. You have some items coming through here. I could have seen Darkwing's way of winning it, so I just had to hang back, just let him cook a little bit. But what I wanted to say was Dragoon, he is still a problem. Even with AOE managing to somewhat equalize, getting that dragon, getting those kills that they got both during and after the dragon fight, Dragoon is still someone to deal with here. He's a level and a half over Quacker. Like you said, even though there's a good amount of ability to kite on AOE side, Dragoon has Ghost. If he manages to get on top of somebody, there's a good chance that they just end up going down.
Yeah, and this guy, again, Dragoon, been one of the staples for this teams all through a semi-pro, in fact, competing for quite some time through many different teams, and has always been praised being one of the top laners that was next up. And this right here is a chance to show it. Even talking to him as well, he said, no matter the results, I know the scouts are watching, so I gotta make sure to be on my best behavior, which I think he's doing a good job of that so far.
Oh, Chookies. Does he do a good job of getting away, though?
Great question. In fact, the answer, yes. No.
No.
Yes. No.
No?
Yeah.
No. Wasn't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It's 50-50, as Jared likes to say, That's all it is.
It is. That's a tough one, though. You can see it. AOE, they find these kills because even though Azog and Chookies have been doing really well in this 2v2. At the end of the day, whenever Winnie comes through, or whenever the kills come through, AoE wastes no time to set up vision on this bottom side of the map. And that's why they have these angles to take someone squishy and immobile like Chookies on this Lux. So even though in the meantime, Kizno did manage to pick up the second Rift Herald, I imagine at this point, you're going to be just dropping that with Dragoon, giving him that opportunity to continue being that side lane threat. And you're at a point where it's really hard to actually deal with him because I imagine once we get out of the laning phase, you want to actually put Darkwings to match him. Quacker's struggling right now. He needs a break. Give him someone like Victor.
Yeah, Quacker.
He needs it.
Yeah, he needs somebody to try to match up against, somebody who could probably try to run down, because especially the Cassio into the actual Olaf matchup as well. Fantastic.
It's okay. It's okay, yeah.
I, in fact, have played it on the Olaf side. It did not go well for me.
I have to ask the question.
What?
Are you sure it wasn't a skill issue?
I'm 100% sure, Vito.
Okay.
Any matchup I lose is never on me.
Okay, you see?
Because the opponent is slightly better than I am.
Nah, see, that was one of those moments where you had me and then you lost me again. So, it is what it is, I suppose. But it's also... Yeah, exactly. Dragon, though, is up, and you can see it, Supernova. Both teams, actually, grouping up for this one. But you can see the trap set up here. I mean, Supernova will get that first move, but Quacker with the flank angle... he is spotted. They do know he's there, but still, even though he's so far behind, Cassante can still... be that difference in some of these team fights. You get on top of someone like Onat, like Azog, you kidnap them with the all-out, you 1v1 them, and you won the fight for your team.
Exactly that, right? Just the isolation of a priority target is what I find Cassante brings a lot to these fights. with the all out. But for now, Dragon aggro on the side of AOE. Still gotta watch Quacker on the side.
There it is.
Once again, he has to flash out a big barrel, but isolated once again. A lot of damage, but as the curtains get opened up, so too they get shut down as the snow show is going on today. Quacker once again on the line of fire when he's continuing to fire away as Dark Wings takes out his own Baran.
Wow.
All the rest of the team, a double kill for Azog, but it's just not enough as it ends with 3 down and it's
nice smoke screen.
Azog isolated. Lynx wants it. One more could do it. The auto.
Azog's going crazy.
He's going nuts. So on the server, he doesn't get the snipe, but come on, man, he's so afraid. He knows.
That was gonna happen.
There we go. And ace for AOE.
It was a good one. It was a scrappy one there, but AOE again, that confidence, that ability to coordinate, that fact that they just never see a fight that they don't like comes in clutch for them once again. That ability to consistently catch out Kizno is what's really important here. You see the fact that he's here, they have vision, and as soon as they get the call, it comes through here. They throw everything in the kitchen sink at them and immediately get that numbers advantage. Even more important, Dragoon can't actually do anything despite his lead. This is the concern we were talking about in this draft with the Olaf. You need to be able to stay on top of someone, put that damage through, but AOE have a lot of damage and Dragoon ends up having to run.
Yeah, once again, coming down to the sides of the isolation, and now with AOE being able to firmly take the lead over the opponents as the fight just kind of fizzle out, right? You saw this, it was only a matter of one after the next, but I think the flowers do got to be given to Azog.
Oh, yeah.
Bro did the most.
He did. He did a lot.
A lot back. I think he got like almost all 5. He had the crit up, but once again, from one fight to the next we go. Kizno again caught, trying to initiate for the team. Oh, no.
And what does that mean? Baron coming through this time around. Now we're 20 minutes in. It's going to be just as it spawned, but AOE, they're in the position to do so. But Onat, the rest of the team are here. They got a lot of gold in their pocket. They got to try and stop this.
There you go. Curtains open up once again. When he has the aggro, Link takes a bunch of damage. There's a smite onto the Baron right away. As Quacker goes down to defend his team, and Supernova knows
no
they
top
cannot let them get out for free. More must fall. They continue to chase your beatdown. Chookies and Ona are looking to cut them off, but Darkwings is full health and can fight for his team as he steps up. They're locked in this weird choke, and they know that if Azog falls, they have no more fighting power as the tables get turned.
Yeah, you don't want this anymore. It was a good call for Supernova to try and stop the backs, waste time, see if you can get a kill. But as soon as 2 of you have to walk into level 14 Cassiopeia on Dark Wings here with the 2 items, Roa fully stacked, Seraphs fully stacked, you just walk away. It's not a fight that you actually want to be involved in. And Dark Wings is online. He's got more XP than anyone in the game. He's got that crucial item spike. And you can see that gold lead he's got there over Onat. And also, I saw an Aegis of the Legion. So, I don't know if he's building, like, stone plate or something, but I'm very interested in what that's going to be.
Bro, he just wants to be the biggest boy on the server.
Yeah, he's the biggest bird.
Now I want to sing the entire song, and that's going to be stuck in my head the entire day. Thanks, man. Anyways.
I got you.
But anyways, now... Kizno once again trying to find angles for the team. They call him a selfless jungler, but I think, brother, you got to play a bit more selfishly because you giving away a bit too much. And now SkyTech and Lynx can just roll down this turret, gain 3 for themselves as all the outers fall on the side of Supernova.
And Supernova will be able to get something back. Dragoon's still really strong in the 1v1, so they're happy to leave him in the side lane and take something back for these turrets that you were inevitably going to lose anyway. So it is going to be that extra gold, that objective bounty on top of it, because those just started spawning through. And it's just that 1 point of power you have to work through here. As AOE, the rest of the map is their oyster. They have Baron. They have that control over mid and top side. You're going to see them leave soon and go for this next Drake. It's their sole point that they're playing for right now, and it's for a very powerful Infernal Soul.
We're at 22 minutes, and as things start to balloon on the side of AOE, I think Supernova's got to be thinking like, yo, we had it all, but, you know, where do we get back in here, Beats? You know, what do they try to stop them from just taking the next bear? Do they take a fight, or do they hope things slow down?
Well, I'll tell you what AOE would do if the roles were reversed. They would just look for a fight and go for it. And for what we've seen from Supernova, it is the way they do play from behind. They do try to fight it out. 5v5 is the big thing they go for, but this one's going to be tough. They're down 6K. They have no pressure really anywhere on the map right now. It's taking so much for them just to be able to push out some of these waves, for Kizno to get some of his jungle camps. And as for river setup, out of the question right now.
Look once again to...
Oh my god, Darkwings is building stone plate. That's crazy.
You were right. All right, look at that. Beatdown Boulevard's superior intelligence strikes once again.
It's just crazy. like it's really smart. It makes a lot of sense in this context. He just needs to live and output damage. Like, he's good. But it's just funny.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, right? Even right now with the Roa and now with the Seraphs as well, he's gonna do more than enough to just slow down just the rest of the team. Lynx and Winnie have most of the damage anyway, so he's big chilling. And now as well too. They know that they're big enough in the world that they can just look for the fight. Nice barrel displaces maybe the wrong member. And Kizno once again, first to the plate and first also cleaned up.
I like the attempt there, but you got to give props to Lynx. As soon as he realizes something's happening, he tosses the Chains of Corruption before he gets hit by the barrel. And that's what helps basically blow up Kizno, pop him like a balloon. And I like this call from AOE. They don't need to rush going for that dragon. It's theirs when they want it, but they want to continue chipping away at the map here and taking down that last tier 2 turret, which they're going to succeed in getting.
I did like the initial thought of the current call to maybe just get down Lynx, so that way they're going to 4v5, but they're too late. I think Lynx will still have to back off here though, and Supernova not want to take the risk giving up much more of a gold advantage.
Yeah.
They will decide to give that up. It is only soul point, but they will definitely have to fight for Infernal Soul in the next 5 minutes, as right now, looking to get more of the item power spikes. As Dragoon once again left alone, pushing at the lane. Come on, brother. Let's get a tier 2.
Yeah, it's brutal because Supernova, even though he is as strong, he's the strongest one on the team at the moment here. Onat's honestly doing pretty good himself. We're not seeing Supernova actually make any plays to him in that side lane. Have Kizno hover, try and take down Quacker, who was struggling in that 1v1. Because that's a way you can get some more gold back into your pockets. Take a tier 2, an objective bounty as well. That's why you're seeing them try this, grouping as 5 mid to be able to take the turret. But AoE's wave clear is really good, so you're not going to be able to brute force it unless you go for a kill, a fight, a dive. But none of these things look good for you because of how far behind in gold you are.
Yeah, it's a really good job for, and I do respect Kizno for constantly trying to find these angles, right? But it's just with how strong all the members of AoE right now are, is that before the rest of the team can even follow up, right? He just gets, like you mentioned, hopped. And no birthday party is fun with a balloon that's taken out right at the beginning of it, unfortunately.
Right, and now they're taking control over this top side, and the whole map is pushing in their favor, all 3 lanes, and now they're just going for this top invade because Baron's coming up soon, and they're more than strong enough to just go ahead and start it. But this is AoE. They like to fight, so they're looking to see who wants to step up to the plate.
Time for the batter to swing. Dragoon trying to do his
thing. One more auto? Okay.
Oh, but yeah, and that'll be out.
I thought, if not for the W, maybe an auto and a R would go for the kill. But, I mean, you force Dragoon out. He has no teleport. It's Baron time. You have so much damage between Darkwings and Lynx. And Supernova, of course. They got to do something about this. This could be that nail in the coffin.
Right now, we'll see whose funeral it is, though. It's Quacker first up, as he allows the rest of the team to get Baron, takes barely any damage, and just walks out. Casante's a tank. But let that be noted, right here, right now.
Yeah, and you get the Baron, a nice injection of gold right off the bat, and now we're in that one fight territory where one good team fight from AoE, they get an ace, they end the game here. Remember, this is a best of 3, so of course Supernova will get another chance, but it would be a brutal end to a game that started off honestly pretty solid on their side.
Every single game matters going throughout the promotion relegation tournaments, and all these teams coming out from NACL and also through the Challengers League as well know how important it is. They both want to be back again in the league playing in summer. OQ has been a tough time for Supernova, but they have managed to show up through large efforts for the entire team. right now has to be the biggest effort. Barrel goes wide. Kisno gone once again as I look towards the rest of the team. Supernova gotta fall out. There's no neutral objectives up, but AOE is starting the dominance on the bot side.
Yeah, Supernova know that if they get ace, they lose, but I say that. What are we doing, Onat? Ooh, that's a little brutal. But like I said, ace, then you lose, so they got to be careful. And now Dragoon, oh boy.
Oh no. And Quacker.
How the turntables.
Yeah, finally gets the better of the match in quite some time. We were saying how there's going to be one to watch, and with Cassante being online, does well enough. He's fine. Maintained to tank up against the damage of Onat. Just barely has to get out there, but it continues to be all the aggression on the base of Supernova. Curtain Call gets opened up against two different inhibitor turrets and inhibitors that they cannot defend against. AOE have a choice to make the safe play and get out, or to continue pressing forward and be bold, and they'll be safe.
Yeah, even with Quacker and Darkwings having teleport, you have your dragon coming up in less than a minute. You want to be 100% sure here, and those two inhibitors going down, those super minions coming through, guarantee your soul at this point. It would take a catastrophic mistake from AOE to not be able to secure their fourth dragon. And that's what they're looking to do here. Of course, take away some camps, exert some pressure all over the place, but it's that bottom side, that Drake pit that we have our eyes set on.
And with Baron after Baron, I did want to touch a bit on this Quacker as well, as he found the meta just to go up and be at a super strong as soon as he comes around for the flank. We were mentioning how Dragoon had gotten better than previously, but Winston mentioned how they wanted somebody to come in who was game ready. Somebody who could adapt fast, who could take a ton of feedback and be able to adapt to the style of this AOE squad, who was looking to be aggressive, was looking to play through the individual lanes. And right now, Quacker is showing exactly that. Although he fell down a little bit, when it came down to 5v5s, he knew his role exactly, and he's adapted really well to the squad. Whereas right now, they're to once again run it back on the base. It's a 5v5 here, beat down. Supernova's in trouble.
They're more than in trouble. They're on the verge of losing everything. AOE don't even care for the dragon. They're just going to go to take the next inhibitor, and if Supernova aren't careful, that could be the end of the game.
Darkwings is there by himself past the mid. Dragoon isolates the target, but here comes the Hex Trick, but the shield is not enough to go down. And that's the inhibitor gone. AOE slightly low on the health. Maybe Skytech goes down, not before he gets sniped. And AOE, with that final nail, will go 1-0 up in the series against Supernova.
It was touch and go for a minute, Ravish, but nobody scraps it out like AOE Gold does, and they showed it to us by coming back and then some to win game one here.
Beautiful stuff so far, although going down in the early, but as I continue to play with your heart, so do AOE with our minds as well, with a tug of war that they got. But this tug of war is not over yet. As you mentioned, a best of 3 is afoot. So we'll see you after this quick break for the second game.
Welcome to the Spring 2023 LCS Challengers League Promotion Tournament. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Smax. And we're here to talk you through everything you need to know.
The promotion tournament will feature 8 teams from the North American developmental landscape, the 4 lowest placing NACL provisional teams from Spring, and the 4 teams who earned the most qualification points across the 2 NACL Spring Open qualifiers. These 8 teams will be placed into a modified double elimination bracket. Our first round will have a provisional team matched up against a qualifier team in a best of 3.
Seeding for the 4 provisional teams was based off performance in the NACL playoffs, while the qualifier teams were ranked by total points earned across both open qualifiers. The winners of the first round will play each other in the upper bracket best of 5, with those winners becoming the first 2 teams welcomed into the summer NACL season. The losers of round 1 will be sent down to the lower bracket, where they will play a do or die best of 3 against another round 1 loser. The winners of this best of 3 will move on to our lower bracket best of 5, where they will face off against the loser of an upper bracket best of 5 to qualify for summer NACL. Those eliminated will have the chance to re-enter the Open Qualifiers next split to earn the chance to challenge the promotion tournament once again.
So, best of luck to the teams competing, and we'll see you there.